The Vorthak had ruled the jungles of Kepler 442b for millennia, standing 8 feet tall on powerful hind legs, with razor-sharp claws that could slice through titanium and sensory organs that could detect a heartbeat from 3 miles away. It was the apex predator of a world where everything else was prey. Today, something new had entered its domain. The creature crouched in the dense undergrowth, its mottled green hide blending perfectly with the alien foliage. Through the canopy above, the twin suns of the Kepler system cast shifting patterns of light and shadow across the jungle floor. The Vorthak's heat sensors detected a warm-blooded signature moving through its territory. Bipedal, approximately 6 feet tall, moving with surprising stealth for such an awkward-looking species. A human. The Vorthak had heard whispers from other worlds about these strange pink-skinned creatures that had begun spreading across the galaxy. Weak individually, lacking natural weapons or armor, possessing mediocre senses compared to any respectable predator. They compensated with pack tactics and crude tools, but this one appeared to be alone. Easy prey. The human moved through the jungle with careful, measured steps. Lieutenant Sarah Chen of the Terran Colonial Marines had been tracking the Vorthak for 3 days now. Her squad had been picked off one by one during their reconnaissance mission. Anderson taken while on watch, Morrison vanishing during a routine. Patrol Rodriguez found days later with claw marks that spoke of a swift, brutal death. But Chen had noticed something the others hadn't. The attack patterns weren't random. The Vorthak was intelligent, studying them, learning their habits. It had observed their patrol routes, their sleeping patterns, their weaknesses. It was a hunter, in every sense of the word, which meant it could be out-hunted. The Vorthak padded silently through the underbrush, staying downwind of its quarry. The human had stopped near a clearing, apparently examining some of the local flora. Perfect. The clearing would give the Vorthak room to maneuver for the killing strike. It coiled its powerful legs, preparing to leap. Chen knelt by the bioluminescent fungi, but her attention wasn't on the alien plant life. In her peripheral vision, she had caught the telltale shimmer of movement in the trees behind her. The Vorthak thought it was being clever, using the jungle's natural camouflage to mask its approach. What it didn't know was that Chen had been leading it here. The clearing wasn't random. She had chosen this spot specifically, a natural amphitheater with limited escape routes, surrounded by trees that would funnel the predator's approach from predictable angles. The fungi weren't just pretty. Their bioluminescence would react to sudden movement, providing her with an early warning system. More importantly, buried beneath the seemingly innocent ground cover were 3 proximity mines she had carefully placed during her first pass through the area that morning. The Vorthak tensed for its strike, every instinct screaming that the moment was perfect. The human was exposed, distracted, vulnerable. In one fluid motion, it launched itself from the tree line, claws extended, mandibles spread wide to deliver the killing bite. The fungi erupted in brilliant blue light as the massive predator sailed through the air. Chen rolled sideways, not away from the attack but toward it, sliding beneath the Vorthak's trajectory as the first mine detonated. The explosion sent the creature tumbling. Its perfect ambush turned into a chaotic sprawl across the clearing. But the Vorthak was tough. It rolled to its feet, shaking off the blast, and spun toward its prey with a snarl of rage and confusion. How had the weak human detected its approach? The second mine answered that question with another explosion that sent shrapnel tearing through the Vorthak's hide. Still, it pressed forward, now understanding that this was no helpless prey but something far more dangerous. Chen had her plasma rifle up and firing before the smoke cleared. The Vorthak was fast, faster than anything had a right to be, but Chen had spent the last 3 days studying its movement patterns just as carefully as it had studied hers. She didn't fire where it was. She fired where it was going to be. The plasma bolt took the Vorthak in the shoulder, spinning it around just as it reached the third mine. The final explosion dropped the mighty predator to its knees. It looked up at the human with something approaching respect in its compound eyes. This small pink-skinned creature had done something no prey had ever done. It had turned the hunt around. Chen approached cautiously, rifle trained on the wounded Vorthak. The creature made no move to attack. Instead, it tilted its head, studying her with the same intensity it had once reserved for stalking prey. "You're smart," Chen said, though she knew it couldn't understand her words. Smart enough to recognize when you've been outmaneuvered. The Vorthak's mandibles clicked in what might have been acknowledgement. For millions of years, it had been the apex predator of this world. Today, it had learned that the galaxy held creatures far more dangerous than anything with claws and fangs. Creatures that could think, plan, and adapt. Creatures that turned weakness into strength and transformed being hunted into hunting. As Chen's extraction beacon began transmitting, calling for pickup from orbit, the Vorthak dragged itself to the edge of the clearing. It would survive. Its kind were resilient, but it would never again underestimate the small bipeds that had begun spreading across the stars. The human had taught it a valuable lesson. Sometimes the most dangerous predator is the one that doesn't look like a predator at all. In the trees above, other Vorthaks watched silently as the human was retrieved by her flying metal nest. They had witnessed the impossible, their apex hunter humbled by prey. From that day forward, the jungles of Kepler 442b would know a new fear. Not of claws or fangs or natural weapons, but of the patient intelligence that could turn any environment into a trap, any hunt into an ambush. The humans had arrived and nothing would ever be the same.